Hi ladies, welcome back to another Halftee YouTube video. My name is Amanda Barker. I am the CEO founder of Halftee, and Halftee is a layering solution piece for women to give arm coverage, cleavage coverage, modest coverage for your everyday fashion outfit. So we'd love to add sleeves, necklines to sleeveless dresses, tops, pledging necklines, anything you've got that you need to fix. We love to be there for those just everyday fixes that we all have to deal with when we get dressed in the morning. Halftee is also awesome just for those fashionistas that love to add a pop of color. We like the layered look. We love having a long sleeve under a t-shirt or adding a mock neck underneath a t-shirt or sweatshirt. So we have all different lifestyles here at Halftee, and we love getting on once a week and just talking about what we're seeing out in the fashion world. We also love to launch our new products here, our new styles, our new colors, and just things that overall we're seeing trending out in the world of fashion. So today I'm really excited to talk about this topic because this topic is something that's very important to me, and it's actually the reason why I started Halftee. And this little backstory, Halftee started because I am a modest dresser. I like to, for religious purposes, I have to have a sleeve, neck coverage. I wear shorts down to my knee. Overall, religiously, we live and dress probably a little bit more modest than the average woman in society. So modesty is very important, but it's also very important that I look put together and that I can wear the fashion trends of today and wear them without making them look frumpy or silly. Also just making sure that I am dressed modestly and appropriate for the different places that I find myself throughout the day, especially as a mother, as a business owner, as a basketball coach, and all the things as a religious, church-going woman, community, all the things that we do as women throughout our day. Being able to show up into those different areas, dressed appropriately, modestly, but also on trend and fashionably, because that's something that's important to me too. So I was actually nursing a baby. I have 8 babies, 8 children. They're grown now and they're getting big, but I was thinking about getting ready, and I had a top in my closet, and it was actually like sheer on top. It's so cute. I loved it, but I knew if I wore it, I'd have to wear a full-length layering top to go underneath it. And I was so frustrated because all I needed was coverage up here. And I just thought, why do we not have tops that cut off right here at the middle and give us the coverage from here up? Because we don't need to be tucking in, pulling, all the extra bulk and heat in the middle. All I needed was a top from here up. And literally that day, I went into my closet and I chopped off all of my layering tops. And I just tested to see if it would work. Now, of course, it didn't work because the fabric rolled up and it ended up ending up right here. So my mom and I sat down, we pulled out the sewing machine, we serged on a few different bands. So let's see, this is actually our brand new fuchsia mock neck Halftee, sleeveless mock neck, and you can see the band here. So this is what we worked on, and this is what keeps a Halftee in place. And I started just testing these little samples out, and I loved them. So that is kind of where Halftee came about, and it came about out of a necessity to have modest coverage, but a complete loathing for all of the bulk and heat that used to traditionally come with the traditional layering top. So today we are going to talk about does modesty matter? And to me, modesty matters. And if I've learned one thing in this world of fashion, for 15 years I've been doing business now, what I've learned is how important it is to women to be modest. It's not just a religious thing. It is a worldwide thing. Modesty is real and it's out there. And I feel like the word modesty kind of has a bad connotation to it. A lot of times it will reflect in people's minds frumpy or old or restrictive. Thank you, Claire. All these things. But what I've realized is we all need it at certain times of our lives. And there's a time and a place a lot of times. And there's different levels of modesty. My modesty level, or my definition of modesty, will look different than Claire's definition of modesty. And honestly, that's fine. care. Hi, Claire. I don't care where you are on that. I just know that for most women, modesty matters. So it's been a very fun roller coaster ride, really starting to hone in on what it looks like. And last week I was on air we have a home shopping channel, Shop HQ, that we do a lot of business with. And every like 6 to 8 weeks I go on air, whether through Skype or I fly out there. And this time we were talking about coverage for religious purposes. And also something that I want everybody to realize is just because I want to be modest and I talk a lot about modesty does not mean that I'm not body positive. What it means is I feel like as we really try to really understand our own personal comfort levels with modesty, that doesn't mean you don't love your body. It doesn't mean that you don't think your body is beautiful. It means that you find more comfort and more confidence when you cover certain areas of your body and you show up a certain way. And so I was a little bit frustrated last week on air because I felt like we were trying to walk around this whole body shaming thing because I want to wear a sleeve. I'm not body shaming anybody, and you're not body shaming yourself if you are more comfortable having a sleeve on, or if you're more comfortable covering up your sisters. So that is something I kind of wanted to start off with, something that just really got me thinking last week, and that's what I wanted to preface today with, is does modesty matter? And I am going to stand or sit here and say yes, it absolutely does. And I absolutely believe that to most women, where you are on the spectrum of modesty, it matters, especially when you are ebbing and flowing through the different hats of life. And there's going to just be different times where there's a time and a place for all different levels of modesty throughout our lives. So there's 4 different things I want to talk about today, just thoughts on modesty and different categories of where I feel like modesty is defined in different ways. And the first one that I want to talk about, and I kind of already did, is just personal value, right? As far as where are we all personally on the spectrum of modesty? And like I said before, there is a spectrum. There is lots and lots of different ideas around modesty. But for me, modesty is about showing up confident and more comfortable. I want to be able to show up knowing that I'm not going to have to bend over and cover here or flash kids or flash people in my business arena. I feel like there's a level of a sophistication and a level of professionalism that comes with modesty as well. So for me personally, it's a religious choice as well. Within our religion, we wear undergarments that need to be covered, and so that requires me to wear a sleeve. And requires it's not my favorite word. I choose, right? I choose to wear a sleeve and neck coverage to make sure that those undergarments are appropriately covered. So that is another reason, a personal value for myself, that I am tend to be quite a bit more modest than more on this end of the modesty spectrum than on this end. The second reason is comfort. And dressing, I really do believe that dressing modestly does elevate our ability to be a little bit more comfortable and confident. Like I said before, I feel like when we're getting ready in the morning and we have just those tiny little issues, maybe your shirt is a little bit too low here, and so you have a little bra strap or a little side boob hanging out, or like I said, plunging necklines. You don't want the sisters popping out when they shouldn't be popping out. Maybe it's bra straps. Maybe it's bra straps in the back. Maybe your top is wide here and it's just constantly slipping off, and it's just annoying to keep fixing it. All those fidgety forms of, I don't know, problems out in the fashion world, that is where I feel like comfort comes in. I also want to just kind of talk a little bit about button-down tops. Like, especially in the business world, we're wearing button-down tops, chambray tops, denim tops, silky tops. A lot of times with tops, especially depending on your bust size. And that's another thing, women, is as women, we have so many different body types. There is a gazillion body types out there. And so to think that we can walk into a store and that shirt is going to fit Claire the same as it fits me is crazy. Even though both of us are size smalls, things are going to fit her different than they fit me. And I want to go to like the button down tops, where a lot of times I want to unbutton the tops because I'm broader shouldered. Now, I'm not gonna have popping buttons on my button tops because of my boobs, because I'm small chested, but because of my shoulders, my buttons tend to pull apart right here. Well, I've tried tape, I've tried pinning, I can't unbutton it because then they're too low. But if I just add a tank halftee underneath, or this crew, this is darling underneath button down tops, I am able to unbutton and not have to worry about taping, pinning, all of those things that traditionally in the past we've had to do. When we put on a halftee and we're able to style with a halftee, we can talk about, these two styles are two of my favorite styles. This is actually a new style coming out. It's our racerback. Crew neck racerback, super, super cute style. Again, this is like fashion forward, really cute, but it's going to give you some coverage in your plunging necklines and make it so that you don't have to worry all day about leaning over. Our boyfriend sleeve halftee, this is our blush pink boyfriend sleeve halftee. This is actually our #1 seller. And again, it adds a sleeve and a very modest neckline, a pop of color. It's gonna fix all of those problems that we might have in certain tops and dresses and jumpers without adding all the extra bulk and heat. And when you don't have to fidget and pull and tuck and tug, I believe that adds an extra level of comfort. All right, let's just talk about practicality. One of the things probably what led me to wanting to start a company selling crop tops for Modesty, which is irony at its finest, was just the practical side of things. It did not make sense in my mind to wear a full length layering tee, to tuck it in, to tug it, to have all the extra bulk in my middle, just so I could have a sleeve and a neckline. It just did not make sense in my mind. So their halftees are so practical in helping us, solve those modesty issues. I believe also we just got to go back to when we're dressed modestly, we are able, I believe, to ebb and flow through all the different hats that we're wearing. And it's not about, I better go change and put my halftee on before I go to work, and then I'm gonna go take it off when I go here. That's not practical. We as women need to be able to flow throughout our schedule, flow throughout our day, knowing that we are dressed appropriately throughout the whole day. So if arms aren't a thing for you, but you do kind of like to have a little more coverage in the chest, the tank is a perfect solution for you. You're gonna get the coverage here, and you're gonna be able to go throughout your day without worrying about the sisters, showing up when they shouldn't. But then if you would rather, if I learned one thing over the past years, is that women don't love their arms. And so being able to have a practical solution in a halftee, to be able to dress modestly, feel more comfortable and confident about your arms, putting on a sleeve goes a long ways for women. But the practicality of doing that with a full-length layering top underneath a jumper or a maxi dress or even a shirt is just not practical. So being able to put on a halftee, being able to solve all those issues, it really is about practicality. And I don't know what's more important, comfort or practicality to women, but dressing modestly to me seems to be able to help you ebb and flow throughout your schedule without having to come and go and change your outfits in order to get all your things done that you need to get done throughout the day. Number 4, dressing age appropriate. I cannot dress the same way my 15-year-old dresses. Even though I think she dresses darling, there is still age-appropriate dressing in my book. And I really believe Modesty is age appropriate. I think that along with where you define modesty at, combined with our ages, I think as we get older, there's a lack of desire to want our, to want our boobs to hang out. We don't love as we age, we don't love our arms as much. We're a little bit more finicky about different areas of our bodies that are changing. And so the halftee and modesty really kind of comes together in helping be able to gap the fashion trends that we still love in the stores that we want to buy and wear, but probably not be able to wear it the way we're seeing the younger girls or the younger women wearing it. Being able to wear, I've got this really cute vest on, sweater vest on. This with a pair of jeans would be a younger looking style that younger girls would wear it. But because of my age and because of I'm at work in a business professional setting, I want sleeves. And I'm kind of talking about this, I didn't even mean to, but this is our brand new launch of our collared button-down halftee. And this, for me, I'm still able to wear the trend of sweater vests, but styling it with a button down elevates my look, is more age appropriate. I obviously could do it with a turtleneck half tee, or I could do it with a long sleeve half tee. There's lots of different looks. I could do it with a boyfriend half tee, this style right here. But because of my setting, I chose the colored. Again, I'm taking a trend, which in the sweater vest is a trend, and I am able to style it and be more age appropriate by adding some modest coverage. So this is like the perfect example of what it looks like to wear something that my 15-year-old would style it totally different, totally cute, but for me, I need a little bit more coverage to feel like I'm dressed age appropriately. So those are the 4 factors that I feel like are super important when we're talking about, does modesty matter? Yes, it does. There's personal value that comes into play. There's comfort things that come into play. There's practicality elements that come into play. And then there's age appropriate situations as well that really make a difference. And that is kind of what I believe those 4 things kind of put you and get you in line with where do you fit on the spectrum of modesty? Because like I said in the beginning, we all have different views of modesty, but I do believe as women, for the most part, we all value it at some level, especially as we're ebbing and flowing throughout all the little different areas of our lives and all the hats that we wear. And I really feel like, I mean, obviously job security, but I really feel like Halftee allows you to go on that spectrum, define where you are on that spectrum, and you don't have to stay. So, you know, you might be here one day and here the next. This is ebbing, the spectrum is also ebbing and flowing throughout our lives. But Halftee really does have you covered in the area of modesty. When you're really trying to just find your groove in the fashion world, find your groove in your day-to-day life, changing, your age is changing, we're growing, we're developing, we're doing tons of different things. And I really feel like Halftee has got you covered all the way through all stages of life. So that is a wrap. Why does modesty matter? Hope you love this information. This is, of course, my opinion on why modesty matters, but I have been doing a lot of studying throughout the last 15 years, and I've heard from so many different women from so many different walks of life, and it's been super, super fun to really listen and be able to better serve women when it comes to fashion. I just think fashion is not going anywhere. It is a part of our lives. We have to get dressed in the morning, and if I, as a woman, can make that one process easier and help women show up feeling more confident, more comfortable, more prepared to do what they've got to do that day, then I've done my job. Thanks again for joining me this week. If you like this video, please like and thumbs up it down below. Share it if you'd like to share it, and make a comment. Does modesty matter to you? I would love to know and what that looks like to you. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Mwah.